Good afternoon, ladies, and good morning to some of you. Let's just see if we're online. It looks like it. Just checking to see if anybody's coming on. Good morning, good afternoon. I think we've still got quite a few ladies that are sleeping in today. Good morning, Elizabeth. Good morning, Laurie. We're just going to wait and see if there's a couple more ladies that'll join us before we get started. Oh, thank you for setting the alarm. That's nice of you. I hope you're going to enjoy today's one. It's very simple because I think you've all been worked to the bone. Hi, Kim. With all the projects that you're having to do. So I just thought we'll come on with something simple and easy. There is a twist to it though. You're going to have to do two. Have you just woken up? Oh dear. Well, let's see. I'm waiting for one or two more ladies to join and then we can get started. But this project, you're going to have to do two of each, especially those that are following me and Julie to do the journal that we're busy making. And then, of course, there's Rocking Robin. Hi, Louisa. There's Rocking Robin that is also doing a journal. So you will need to do one there so that you can enter. Remember, it's one entry per picture. Hi, Jackie. So, yeah. And then another thing, Julie will be doing the spin for last month's entries. Okay, I think we've got quite a number of ladies. Today's your birthday. Oh, that's good. Happy birthday. Hope you enjoy the day. Thank you for getting up bright and early for me. It's greatly appreciated. Okay, let's get started. Okay, I asked you ladies to collect some doilies. So what I've done is I've collected different size doilies. I've done a lot of the work beforehand. So I've got a doily and I've actually cut it out in each of the sizes. I've used, I don't do tea dye or coffee dye. I use vinegar and rusted nails, and I get this nice sort of creamy color, so I like to use that. So I've got one more that I need to cut out. So what I do is I just sort of pop. There's no hard and fast rule here that you must get it exact. Although I am a bit OCD, I try and do it as close as possible. So I'm going to cut around here. I think we're going to do a bit more decorating today than we normally do. I didn't want you ladies to sit and watch me cut out all the different doilies, so I've just left it one to cut out. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink up the edges, and what I like to do is turn the doily over so that it's not corresponding 100% with the actual doily. So I just want to ink the edges. I'm not going to worry to ink the doily itself. I want to keep that doily. If you've got it tea-dyed already, that's fine. I like mine white. And I'm just going to pop it more or less on the top and then fold it in half. Then I'm going to go over the next one. I've already turned these pages over, so it's just for me to ink up the edges. The reason I'm inking up the edges here on the outside is so that you can at least see it. And again, I'm just going to fold the paper. So I'm now going to put it on top of it, the previous one. And I'm going to go and do that with all the next three. With the metal water, I tend to like the pages quite light. So this particular one has come out quite light. I think one day we must play with the metal water, and I'll show you how I get to dye all my paper, at least 20, 30 at a time, and they get dried very quickly, especially those that have got heaters. That's something we can maybe do in the future, Julie. Hi, Terry. Okay. Just so that you can catch up, I've basically cut around each doily and I've inked around the edges. And I'm now stacking them on top of one another, well, layering them on top of one another in size. So now I'm just going to add a twist to mine. I've decided I've cut a piece of wallpaper out in the shape of a flower. Nothing special. I've just cut it out in the shape of a flower, and I'm going to put it in the center of all my doilies. So now I'm just going to make sure that each set is lined up nicely. And then my last one. And then I'm just going to get let me see if this one will be big enough. Nope, it's not big enough. Let me get my heavy duty one. It'll help me at least. I'm just getting hold of my sponge. And I just now need my pokey tool. And I'm going to go, I'm literally going to eyeball it. So let's go 1. I normally use a sewing machine, but not everybody has a sewing machine, so I've just decided to stitch it instead. Let's just get it. I'm just at a funny angle. There we are. To just hold the one end and we're through. Right, let's just move that. There we are. I don't want to pull too hard because I'm going to end up pulling it straight through. I can. And we're through on the other side. There we are. Let me just pop this on my magnet before I lose it. So I've made sure my string is on either side of the center. Whoops, you see I've pulled it a bit too tight. Be careful you don't pull it too tight, but you don't also want it loose. Here you can also use a bit of dental floss. So I've stitched it together. What I've done is I've stitched the small doily to make sure that it at least catches all of the doilies. And I'm now going to just burnish it. And there we have a nice little notebook for your journal. There's one that I've done. I've stitched with a sewing machine. Now we can just add a little bit of something to it. See what we can add. What would be nice is to maybe do, like here I've done some lace, but we can also do a flower, which is quite nice, but I don't seem to have any just at the moment. Let me see if this other lace will work. I like this a bit. Just give it a nice little edging. I'm only going to really decorate this small doily. And you've now got a nice notebook because it allows you to make your notes and still have it pretty. I just need to watch that I don't go over the... Do a bit of lace. And you see, one can, if one wanted to, one could also put some lace along the edge there. But the way I've cut it, it's going to be a bit finicky at the moment. I'm just trying to see what I can use here. What else I can use to decorate? I think that's a bit big. Let me just see in this pot here and see what comes out of here. Oh, I'm going to try and keep it plain because of I've used quite a bold color on the wallpaper. I see I've got a nice bit here. These flowers are so old, I actually forget to use them. Ah, that should work for me. Let me just pop that up. And let's get on with this. And maybe a pearl in the middle would be quite nice. Oh, it's bent a little bit, but anyway. I've kept with a color theme. You will see with our next project. I've kept with the color theme. Ladies, if you haven't got one, get one. These are brilliant. Paperweight to keep your goodies in place, and it keeps it in its place, and you're able to pick it up. It doesn't stick to one another or anything like that. And you can leave it until it dries, which is absolutely fabulous. So I'm going to just put that out of the way, and we'll go on to our next project. Our next project is an over-the-page belly band. Also something very simple. So what I've done is I've cut 2 pieces 3 inches wide, and I'm going to cut them down to 10 1/4. So we've got 2 pieces. I've just used ordinary white card. Ladies, I've had a question. Look, I'm familiar with A4. Most of my projects, you will be able to use the letter size. There's just a slight difference in size, but it can be adjusted. It's not a major train smash or anything like that. You still will be able to use your letter size. I must actually just check what the actual difference is. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm going to score at 1 inch. I'm just going to put this aside. Oh, it's not going. Oh, sorry for all that noise. I'm going to score at 1 inch and fold. I will burnish in a minute. And I'm going to score at 1 inch. I first want to deal with these 2 before I go on to the next phase. I'm actually going to just glue it on top of one another so that we don't have any catching. Silly me, I went and I scored on the wrong place. Oh dear. But that's not a problem. Because it'll be hidden underneath. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to put a piece of sellotape underneath here, so that when you slide it on the page, it's a smooth slide. Your A4 page, so you can adjust this according to your page. If this is your A4 page, it will slide on, so your A4 page folded in half becomes A5, which is 8 1/4 inch. So you can see it's 8 1/4 inch. What I've done is I'm just going to, because nobody's going to, I'm going to first mark it rather. So I'm going to just take it. I've literally, if you have a look, I've taken it about not even an eighth over the page, because you need to be able to slip the belly band on and off. So I think we're going to I think I'm going to cut it just below there. I'll rather be safe than sorry. I'm just going to take it down a bit, and then this piece we're literally going to fold over, but we're going to tuck it in. Let me get this ruler out the way. Okay, so this is our A4 piece. I'm going to glue that way, and it needs to be able to slide. Oh, that's yeah, that should be okay. So it slides, should be able to slide on nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it on the inside here. Again, this is just a gauge. Each page will be different, so you can adjust the pages. And again, I'm going to take a piece of sellotape, and we're just going to open it. Sorry, I know you can't see, but what I've done is I've stuck a piece of sellotape on the inside there. I'm sure you can, hopefully you can see it. So the piece is in there. So when you slide it on the page, there's no hooking or catching. I told you this is mostly going to be decorating. So I'm going to, we finish with a scoreboard. If your book is narrower, your journal is narrower, you again just adjust the size of the papers. Somehow, what have I done here? Okay, I'm just going to take a nip off there. You probably wonder why I jump from cutter to cutter. Between those two, they're my favorites. So I tend to jump, and I tend to go for the small one when it's little pieces, because it cuts nice and sharp, although Tim Holtz does as well. to cut this piece for here. Okay, this is slightly off. So I'm just going to fix it up. And these are all off-cut pieces that I'm actually using now. Oh, I'm just trying to line it up that it's straight. There we are. I won't be inking this particular project. As you know, I haven't inked any of mine for this particular journal. So there we are. And then what I wanted to do is on the one side, I wanted to just put a, we're just going to take a small piece off here for the one, and for the other I want to just take off here, here. Going to keep a bit of that lace. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to keep these bits. That works out perfectly for me. Okay, so the one side I'm actually not going to have anything really. I'm just going to have a decorative paper. On this side. And on the other side, I'm going to have my sort of focal point. Just take this and pop this. I've decided I'm not going to glue it all the way. So now, not watching and my glue's running out. There we are. It's slightly off-centered, but I'm happy with it. Okay, so you will slide it onto your page. There's just enough space so you will have your belly band there. You can take your little notebook, pop your notebook in there, and you still have, let me see if I can get a longer piece. So you will have a pocket there. You will have a pocket there. So you've got two pockets. And then when you turn it over, you will have the other pocket on the other side. Very simple, 2 belly bands literally in one. Those are your 2 projects, ladies. I told you they were going to be very simple and very easy. So that is your project for today. I'm hoping that you will please do one for your journal, like I say, and one for Rocking Robin. Look forward to seeing your interpretations of them, and have a fantastic afternoon, and thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.